Yes, thank you, Mr. Mukari. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Mashu, was still at the document that you say that it was in the memory stick, which is page 141. When you look at which paragraph is that? Yes, when you look at paragraph 8 of that document, can you read it into the record which says a total?
A total of 6 firearms were retrieved at the confrontation scenes, as well as numerous dangerous weapons, including pangas, axes, and spears.
That's right.
One of the firearms is confirmed to belong to the police official killed by the group on Monday.
Yes. Now, will I be correct? You tell me if I say that paragraph 8, if one may think of any doubt about how many sins were there, it places it beyond doubt that it was more than one sin. Am I right?
You're right.
I didn't hear?
You're right.
That's right. And then paragraph 10, can you read it out?
The number of dead and wounded may increase as the police comb the area for more wounded.
So, because we have already said that this was the document which was to be given to the president and they had to do it, then so as at that time, they are saying to the president that we've given you the numbers of those who died, those who are injured, but please, because then the police are still combing the area, then it's possible that the number of dead may increase and the number of those injured may increase. Am I right?
I reckon so.
Yes. So now this now is the document which was your template that you used to then compile a document which the Falun Commission was referred to as FFF5, but in these proceedings then we'll call it B137. So can you go to page 137? So now, just to understand so that we're on the same page, the document at page, can you just hold 137 with one hand, Mr. Masheko, and then from there hold 140 with another hand. So the document at page 140, that is the one which was in the memory stick. In your evidence, am I right?
Correct.
And this is the document that you used as a template to compile the one at page 137, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to be sure about that. Now then let's look at the document at page 137. Now so the document at page 137, will that be the media statement which was ultimately read out at the press conference by the National Commissioner on the 17th of August 2012?
Correct.
Yes, so then let's look at it. Again, I'd like you to turn the page over to page 138. Now, I'd like you to read, can we do what, I don't know how we're going to deal with this one.
What we will do is We will count the paragraphs from
Above.
under the heading Our Actions have been the following. So we will number then 1, we proceeded. 2, we then opted. 3, the various union leaders. 4, yesterday. 5, by midday. 6, the options. 7, when the police started. 8, the suspension action, and then 9, total death toll.
Yes, it's correct. It's correct. It's correct.
Have you numbered your paragraphs as well, Mr. Mashiach?
I have, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you.
So then I'd like you to read into the record paragraph 7, which starts with when the police.
When the police started deploying the barbed wire fencing, the group of protesters armed with dangerous weapons and firearms hastily flanked the vehicles deploying the wire. They were met by members from the police who tried to reposit the advance with water cannon, tear gas, as well as stun grenades. The attempt was unsuccessful, and the police members had to employ force to protect themselves from the charging group.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mashoko. When you read this paragraph, in your understanding,
Well, again, what his understanding is not all that relevant to us, is it? The document has to be interpreted as it stands.
no, I'm not saying interpretation. I mean, he must, because then he says that he compiled it. So I'm just asking him on that basis. Yes.
For what it's worth.
Yes, because he says that he prepared. So I'm just, then what was his understanding? Did you understand it to be depicting a scene or an incident? I don't want to bind you to, a nomenclature, whether you call it a scene or incident or area, it doesn't matter.
What is the council's question?
Just repeat the question, please, Mr. Makari. The witness is asking you to repeat the question.
Oh, sorry, then Mr. Mashoko, I was just communicating with my
Yes.
colleague here. This paragraph that you read, if I put it maybe differently, I will say, what were you communicating to the media in this paragraph?
Judge, you will recall that I indicated earlier on that this was a cut and paste. It was taken from a document that was already compiled.
Yes, I agree. So then this paragraph, as I've read it, then I'm going back to the earlier question. Does it depict a scene or incident?
Does it depict a scene or incident?
Yes. Does it tell you of something which one can understand it to be happening in a particular place, in a particular environment or area?
I reckon so.
It does so. Then when you go to paragraph 8, can you read it?
The dispersion action had commenced at this time, and the armed protesters were driven from their stronghold to a high bush. Oh, please read again.
Bushy ground.
The dispersion action had commenced at this time, and the armed protesters were driven from their stronghold to a high bushy ground in the close vicinity.
So can you stop there? When you read what you have just read, maybe because then you didn't know that I'm going to stop you here, let me just read it again for you. The dispersion action had commenced at this time, and the armed protesters were driven from their stronghold to a high bushy ground in the close vicinity. So this part that I've just read, will it be depicting one scene or more than one scene, or incident, or area? It's up to you. I'm not binding you to it.
Sorry, Judge. With respect, that is asking the witness to do precisely what you indicated the witness may not do.
Yeah.
The witness's opinion of what this means is irrelevant, Judge.
Mr. Makari,
Yes, answer the first one already. I don't know if he's now unable to answer the second one in respect of paragraph 7.
Mr. Makari, just speak through me, please. You're trying this witness to give an interpretation to this document. It is not for this witness to interpret the document. It is for us
Yes.
to look at the document and
Yes.
decide what it means. That's our function.
Let me try it differently and see if it works.
Well, you're trying and trying and trying.
No, that's different. I'm doing it differently because I thought there's nothing wrong in getting his understanding of the
No,
paragraph.
it is wrong. It is wrong.
Is it?
His understanding is not the function that we are concerned with. We are concerned with interpreting the document as it stands
Yes.
by the words that have been used
Yes.
in relation to the background circumstances.
Yes.
You know the law of
Yes.
documentary interpretation.
Yes. Okay. Well, let me try it as I say. If it doesn't go anywhere, then I'll leave it for argument as an interpretation.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're correct.
Thank you. Mr. Mashiko, let's try it again. I'll read it first again because there was some interaction. The dispersion action had commenced at this time, and the armed protesters were driven from their stronghold. Did you know what their stronghold was of the strikers?
I was not there.
Yes. And then to a high bushy ground in the close vicinity. Did you know what was the high bushy ground?
Again, I was not there.
You're also not there. Okay. Yes. But you'll agree with me that the plain reading of what I've read to you, it reflects two different areas. One, where they were at their stronghold, being pushed to another area which is a bushy ground. Will you agree with me?
I won't be tempted to do so.
Yes. So what will be your understanding?
My understanding will be I was privy already to a document that explicitly explains that there were two scenes.
Yes, that's right.
When it comes to the statement, it paints a picture of one scene.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I was moving from the premise that this was the template that you were working on in order to produce triple F5. So that is still your evidence, am I right? It was the same, so it was you working on that template, the statement at page 114, to produce this one, the one at page 137 is still your evidence, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll leave it there. Now, Still on the same page 138, I'd like you to read paragraph 9.
The total death toll of the protesters currently stands at 34, with more than 78 injured. 259 people have been arrested for various charges ranging from public violence, murder, and attempted murder, malicious damage to property, armed robbery, illegal gathering, and possession of dangerous weapons.
Well, thank you very much. After having read paragraph 9, can you hold it with your left hand and go to page 141? And read paragraph 7.
The total death toll of the protesters currently stands at 29, with more than 71 critically injured and others being treated for minor wounds.
So the figures in this paragraph 7 at page 141 do not tally with the figures at paragraph 9 at 138. Am I correct?
Yes, spot on.
So if you turn to page 139, Judge, can we do a continuation or must we just number them? It's only 4 of them, paragraphs. I think maybe let's just number them from 1 to.
The top paragraph on page 139 will still be part of paragraph 9 at the bottom of page 138.
Yes.
And so the next paragraph, a total of 6 firearms, will be paragraph 10. And then the next one, 11, 12, and then 13.
Thank you very much, Judge. So now we are at page 139. I would like you to read paragraph 10.
A total of 6 firearms were retrieved after the confrontation scenes, as well as numerous dangerous weapons. One of the firearms recovered is confirmed to be belonging to the police official killed by the armed protesters on Monday earlier this week.
Thank you. The first line of paragraph 10, a total of 6 firearms were retrieved after the confrontation scenes, as well as numerous dangerous weapons. Would I be correct to say that this places it beyond any doubt that it talks about more than one scene?
Correct. It includes a scene of where a police officer had been killed.
Well, my question was, does it place beyond any doubt that it communicates to us more than one scene?
Correct.
That's right. Then can you read paragraph 12?
The crime scene, which covers a vast area, is currently being managed by senior officials from Independent Police Investigative Directorate and supported by an expert of detectives and forensic experts.
Yes. Now, if I take you back to page 138. 138, just
138,
one
yes.
page back.
Paragraph?
Paragraph 9.
9, yes.
Paragraph 9 now communicates, and this is a media statement. It now communicates to the media the current number of death as 34, and then with more than 78 injured. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Now, if you go to paragraph just a moment, if you go to paragraph 4 at page 141, so just hold this one with the left hand and then you go to page 141. You see that the last line that I referred to earlier, which communicates the total number of death and the wounded, at paragraph 4. Do you see that?
The one that starts with yesterday.
No, sorry, I'm sorry about that. It's the one we start with when the police, paragraph 4.
On page 141,
Yes.
paragraph 4,
Yeah, page
the
141.
last sentence.
The one that we spoke about. So it communicates the total number in that C. You see that it says 16 and 13. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Then just hold that 141 with your right hand and go back to 138. Then you have paragraph 7 there which says when the police started deploying. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Then if you just then flip back to 141, you look at that paragraph 4, do you see it says when the police started deploying? Do you see that? So it is almost verbatim recordal of what paragraph 4 of 141 says, having been transposed to paragraph 7 of 138. You see that? And when you read the rest of it, then I know that you've been reading a lot, but there's nothing we can do. Then if you read paragraph 7 of 138 as a whole, can you do that for me, please?
Okay. When the police started deploying the barbed wire fencing, the group of protesters armed with dangerous weapons and firearms hastily flanked the vehicles deploying the wire. They were met by members from the police who tried to reposit the advance with water cannon, tear gas, as well as stun grenades. The attempt was unsuccessful, and police members had to employ force to protect themselves from the charging group.
Now, holding that, and that is the end of that paragraph, am I right?
Paragraph 7, yes.
That's right. So now holding it with your left hand, can you then flip over back to 141? The paragraph 4, without making you to read it again, because otherwise you'll be then reading for the third time. Do you agree that paragraph 4 at 141 is a word-for-word verbatim recorder of what you have just read at 138, but up to the charging group on the last line? Do you see that?
No, Mr.
The
McCarthy,
charging group.
you're putting a wrong statement to him.
Oh, okay.
It is not a word-for-word transposition.
Oh, okay.
In paragraph 4 on page 141, reference is made to a militant group. In paragraph 7, there's no reference to militant. Do you follow?
Let me just see.
And
Oh, no, you're right.
And also,
You're
look
right.
at paragraph 4 on page 141. The protesters armed with weapons. Look at paragraph 7. Armed with dangerous weapons and firearms. The firearms have been included here.
Yes.
The militant has been eradicated, but the firearms have been included in paragraph 7 on page 138.
No, I see that.
So it's not a word-for-word translation.
I see that. I see that. Actually, then, let me just ask the question differently, then, in order to avoid confusion. When you look at 141,
Page
page 141. So I'm looking at the last line there, which says this resulted in the death of 16 protesters. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Then when you go back to 138 at paragraph 7, that is not there. Do you see that?
Yes, it's not there.
And then when you go back to 141, paragraph 5, also then the last two lines, then they communicate the total number of death and the injured. You see that?
I do.
And when you go back to 138, paragraph 8, that is not there. It's not included. You see that?
Correct.
Now, what I want to find out from you is that had you also taken, because this was your template, the document at 141, am I right?
Correct.
So had you taken these figures, this sentence, the last line at paragraph 4, and the last two lines at paragraph 5, the same as they are, and put them in 138, then they will have miscommunicated to the public, am I right? The numbers.
I don't understand the question, Judge.
Okay, let me put it differently. If you take, then let's say maybe you take, let's say you have taken, let's say then you've also taken the number of death and wounded as they are in paragraph 4 at 141 and those at paragraph 5, and then you have them in paragraphs 7 and 8 at 138. Will you still have the number that you have at paragraph 9 at 138? It will make it easier that way. If you look at paragraph 9, look at paragraph 9, page 138. It says the total death toll of the protesters currently stands at 34. And then it says with more than 78 injured. So let's stop there. So what I'm asking you is, had you also taken, because this we can see that it is not included in
Correct.
That's right. So had you also incorporated them, were you still going to have this number that you have communicated at 9? Paragraph 9, that's what I'm saying.
Obviously not. The statement
Exactly.
is, okay. Should I go?
Yeah.
Obviously not. 13 plus 16 become 29, according to the internal briefing document.
Yes.
On the media statement, it's an updated number,
Yes,
which reflects 34.
that's right.
Who gave you these updated figures? From who did you get them?
Judge, we're in a room where the National Commissioner, the two provincial commissioners that I referred to as being present in that room, they were also there. I recall Captain Dennis Adwao was there.
Captain?
Dennis Adwao,
Adrio.
yeah, and Scott. There were also other members that I do not recall whose names are.
And who gave you the updated figures from amongst them? Who gave it?
Captain Colonel Scott.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mashiko. So as I understand, that night of the 16th, we are really dealing with a moving target, am I right? Numbers, with the possibility of numbers changing any time, am I right?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Now, you have made a statement recently, I think on the 3rd of May, 2016,
Exhibit E.
Exhibit E, am I right?
Do you have it in front of you, Mr. Mashiko?
I do, Judge.
Thank you.
What page is it there? Oh, it's then separate Exhibit E. And
Exhibit
can
E.
can you turn to the last, not the last page, but let's say the last but one page. Your statement is dated 3 May 2016. Do you see that?
Yes.
So this statement, it is actually a follow-up to your earlier statement, which you'll find at page 129,
Of Exhibit B.
Exhibit B. If you go to page 130,
So you said page 1?
129
Yes.
of Exhibit B. If you turn to page 130,
Do you want us to number those bullet points, Mr. Mukari?
yes, let's number them.
1, 2, 3, 4, and the last paragraph is fine.
Thank you, Judge. At page 130, we have a signature there. Will that be your signature?
Yes.
And it appears that you signed this statement before a commissioner of oath. Because I see a stamp at the bottom there, am I right?
Correct, Counsel.
And then you did that on the 8th of August 2013, am I right?
Correct.
It was almost 1 year after the Marikana tragedy, am I right?
Yeah, right.
And when you're making this statement, you're making it in relation to the commission of inquiry which had been set up by the president, inquiring into the events at Marikana, am I right?
You're right.
And is it correct, when you look at page 129, that statement is entered quadruple Z 4.18. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
So then I don't have to labor you on that, but I can just tell you that that numbering is a numbering that your statement was given at the Marikana Commission of Inquiry. There's no issue about that. I'm just telling you because you may not be knowing.
Come again on that, sir.
I'm just saying that you see at the top that it is given some, it has been identified as ZZZZ 4.18. Yes, I'm saying that that is a number that your statement was given at the Marikana inquiry. But I'm not asking for your response.
Then why put it to him, Mr. Mukari? What's the relevance of that?
No, I'm just so that then he knows that it was before Fana, because he will not know himself. He didn't testify there.
Yeah.
That's fine. So this is now the statement that you made on the 8th of August 2013. And then you have your statement which you made on the 3rd of May 2016, Exhibit E. Now, let us start with your statement at page 129. It is a short statement, so I would like you to read it for us. In particular, the first paragraph there, you are telling us the position that you occupied at the police, and then from there, then you tell us in paragraph 1 that you deployed Captain Adrio to coordinate the email, all media communication. That's what you've told us already. And then from there, then you tell us about the media. In paragraph 3, then you say the following: an arrangement was reached that Captain Adrio be relieved of most duties and focus on Marikana issue. all media queries that came to my attention soliciting comment about Marikana were then directed to Captain Adrio so that only one voice could be heard and or quoted in the case of print. And that's what you have told us already. Am I right? Then now paragraph 4, you say the following. The following are media actions in which I was involved. Bullet point 1 there. A media press release was compiled on the 13th August 2012, which remained in draft form and was last modified on the 14th of August 2014. The recording of media products issued on the 14 August 2012 indicates that the statement mentioned in this paragraph was never disseminated both internally and externally. Then when you turn the page to page 130, now paragraph 1, you say, a media statement which also served as an invite was sent on the 16th August 2012. And that is the one that you have already testified about, which I referred to you. You remember that?
I do.
And then you then conclude that paragraph by saying that I was involved in the formatting, compilation, and distribution of it to the media, and you annex it as Annexure B. Do you see that?
Correct.
Yes. And then when you turn to the second paragraph, you say, I took part in the writing of a statement delivered by the National Commissioner to the media on the 17th August 2012. So will that be the statement that we're looking at page, the statement that we're looking at page 137?
Correct.
Then back to page 130, then paragraph 3, you then say that the information depicted on the statement delivered by the Police National Commissioner was derived from an incident report herein referred as Annexure D. So will that be correct that that Annexure D that you're referring to is the document at page 140?
You're correct.
Okay. Now, do you know if Captain Adrio also made a statement in respect of the Marikana Commission of Inquiry? Do you know if you also made a statement the same way as you did in respect of the statements that were collected and for the Commission of Inquiry? If you don't know, it's fine. I mean,
I'm not aware.
You're not aware of that. Okay, no, that's fine. So, what then you then did? You then, on the 3rd of May, don't close your statement at page 139. Just leave it open. Then go to Exhibit E.
Sir, I must not close your statement?
That one that I was reading, I'm saying that then just leave it open like that and come to Exhibit E, your separate statement. Do you have it?
I have it.
That's right. And now, on the 3rd of May 2016, you then made a statement, and then it's also not a long statement. I mean, I can be able to take you through it. You say that in paragraph 1, then you tell us that you are now, I'm an adult male communication practitioner and was previously employed as a senior manager in the South African Police Service and headed to the section Content Hub and Research as a brigadier. I'm presently employed by the city of Tshwane. So that's correct, am I right?
Correct.
When did you leave the South African Police Service? If you don't remember, you can just tell me in terms of years. Whether
2
it
years.
was,
2 years, 4 months ago.
sorry?
2 years, 4 months ago.
2 years,
Around there.
4 months ago. If we count back, then that would be what, 2013, 2014?
Yes.
2014, yes, 2014, yes. Are we correct? I mean,
Yes.
they must respond, yes, okay. Then in paragraph 2, then you say that, okay, maybe then before I read you paragraph 2, why did you leave? Was it for greener pastures?
I left.
I don't know what the relevance of this question is, Judge.
No, there's a reason for that. I mean, so was it for greener pastures?
I choose not to respond to that, Judge.
I beg pardon?
I choose not to respond to that.
Well, it's relevant because I'm still going to come back to it. But
Yeah.
it's fine. If you choose not to respond, it's fine. But we'll come back to it if needs be. Then, so let's go back to paragraph 2. On 8 August 2013, I deposed an affidavit to which certain documents were attached. So when you say that I deposed a certain document, you are referring to the one that I said must enclose. Okay. Page 129.
129.
Yes. And you say an attachment to it. When you say attachment to it, you are referring to page 131. Can you go to page 131? That was an attachment you are referring to. But I see it's written Annex A and then it's attached to your statement.
Sorry, can I just be clear, Judge? Is Mkari putting to the witness that it's only page 131 that was attached? Because this. Could you just make it clear? He's.
Or then the missing pages. I see, because what I have here is page. Can you look at page 131? I don't know if your bundle is complete, Mr. Monsieur. What you have at page 131 is the document marked Annex A.
Correct.
And when you go to 133, I think it's a repetition of the same document. Am I right? Annex A.
Yeah.
I think it's the same document.
No. 133. Are you
Oh, it's
comparing
something
131 to 133? In my bundle, it's a different document.
133 is not Annex A, and then it says media statement and so on. Or you're saying that it's different from the one at 120, one at 131?
You asked if it's the same document,
that's right.
131 and 133.
Yes. It's the same document or what? Yeah. That's
I'm
right.
saying in my bundle, it's not the same.
Oh, it's not the same. It's fine. No, it's okay. All right. And then 135. Do you have a document marked Annex B?
Correct.
And then 137, then a document marked Annex C.
Correct.
Okay, no, so yeah, so we have the same sequence. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I mean, you have the correct documents. Then in paragraph 3, then you say, I confirm the contents of the aforesaid affidavit as being true and correct. So you're referring to the statement at page 129, am I right?
Yes.
Paragraph 4 says, I wish to add the following to what I have stated in the aforesaid affidavit. 5, then you say, I understand that the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, General M.V. Phiyega, gave evidence to the Farnham Commission to the effect that I and Captain Adri were responsible for preparing 2 documents, an internal briefing document, Exhibit 444, at the Farnham Commission, and a media statement, Exhibit 555, at the Farnham Commission on the evening of 16 August 2012 and into the early hours of 17 August 2012. In this regard, I state the following. I had no part in preparing Exhibit 444 I was not at Marikana on 16 August 2012 and only arrived there on the morning of 17 August 2012. I was involved in the preparation of the media statement, Exhibit FFF5. My involvement was as follows. When I arrived at Marikana on the morning of 17 August 2012, Captain Adrio was already there. Captain Adrio handed me a memory stick, which I inserted into my laptop, and which opened a document that I recall was titled Briefing Document, and which he informed me had been prepared with assistance of the operational commanders. I copied and pasted this document onto a template that had the logo of the South African Police Service, and thereafter Captain Adrio and I effected certain changes to the document. To the best of my knowledge, Captain Adrio obtained the memory stick from Colonel Duncan attached to the task force. After completing the document, I presented it to the National Commissioner and other officers who included General Petros, the Provincial Commissioner for Gauteng, and the Northwest Provincial Commissioner. General Mbombo, who scrutinized it. The National Commissioner dictated further changes, which I effected to the document on my laptop. After the National Commissioner had satisfied herself with the changes and the general content of the statement, she then approved it for release. So this is a statement that you've given, and you still stand by the statement, am I right?
Yes.
Then when you go to your 129, so then I said you mustn't close it. So when you look at now, so now I want you to take Exhibit A, put it on your right, and take 129 and put it on the other. Because both of these are your statements under oath. Am I right?
Correct.
So you can see that in the document at 129, the paragraph which is marked 4, where it says that the following are media actions in which I was involved. You see that?
Yes.
Then if you turn the page to 130, the first paragraph at the top, then you say, one is a media statement which also served as an invite, and we have gone through that, is Annex B that we have looked at. Then 2, then you say that you then took part in the writing of a statement delivered by the National Commissioner, and you are referring to that media statement which was read out by the National Commissioner on the 17th of August 2012. And then paragraph 3, then you then tell us that the information depicted on that media statement, you derived it from the internal memo that we have referred to, which was the report to the President. Am I correct?
Correct.
Now, what I see here in the description of the roles that you say you played in respect of the media statements, when you come to paragraph 2 at 130, you say, I took part in the writing of a statement. Now, I'd like you to assist us. You took part in the writing of the statement, that is the press statement, with the help of a template. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
But not only were you doing so with the help of a template, but there were changes that were made by you. Am I right? there were changes that were made by you. That is what we now know, am I right?
Under instruction, of course.
Under the instruction of?
The National Commissioner.
You are ahead of me, and then look at your Exhibit E. I'm referring to what you are saying in paragraph 5.3.3. You see there? I copied and pasted this document onto a template that had the logo of the South African Police Service, and thereafter, Captain Adrio and I effected certain changes to the document. Do you see that?
Yes.
So you and Adrio effected the changes to the document, not so. According to what you're saying in your latest affidavit, am I right?
You're right.
And then the National Commissioner then made further changes to the ones made by you, am I right?
Yes.
That is what you're telling us in this affidavit. Now, when we go back to your earlier affidavit of 2013 August, page 130, you do not, and of course, you have now told us that you are aware when you were deposing to this affidavit that you are deposing to it in respect of the Marikana Commission of Inquiry, and to maybe then, insofar as possible, then it can assist the commission, am I right?
Correct.
Now, in this affidavit that you wrote 1 year after the incident in Marikana, you do not tell the commission about the changes you made and the changes the National Commissioner made. Why?
I do not have which commission?
You did not tell, because this document was to be in respect of the Commission of Inquiry at Marikana.
Correct.
So you do not tell why, that you do not tell that you made the changes together with Adrio and that the National Commissioner made further changes. That is what you don't say in this document at 130. Am I correct? This you do not say in this paragraph 130. If you want me to give you an opportunity to read the whole document, I can do so.
I understand well. I did not.
You did not. So now I've said that you have not done that. So 3 years later, the Commission of Inquiry has said it has made findings now, also in respect of the very press statement which was read out by the National Commissioner. And only when this Board of Inquiry is set up, on the day that it sits for the first time, we get an affidavit from you which says that the National Commissioner made further changes. Can you explain to us why?
The reason for that, Judge, I was following the reporting and anything that's mentioned about Marikana and about my involvement in the whole incident. I also studied the Gazette. I was also exposed to seeing visuals of the National Commissioner appearing at the Commission. I got to learn that I'm implicated in having drafted FFF4. That's the briefing document. When this Board of Inquiry then started sitting and I was subpoenaed, I thought I have to make it clear that it is actually falsehood that I was involved in that compilation of FFF4, which is why I had to submit the subpoena rather the statement.
I see. So you were following the Marikana proceedings. I mean, they were broadcast most of the time. So you were following them, not so?
Correct.
In fact, when the Marikana Commission of Inquiry started, you were still working for the South African Police Service, am I right?
Yeah, correct.
And you were actually, as a person in the media center of the South African Police Service, then you still, maybe there were times when you even had to attend then the sittings, am I right?
You're wrong.
But then you will, of course, have an interest in
I'm
it
sorry, I
because
didn't
you're
hear
the
the answer,
spokesperson, am I right?
No, no.
I didn't hear the answer, Judge.
He says I'm wrong.
You said you're wrong.
Yes. But then, as a media, then somebody who employed in the media center of it, then you will, of course, then follow what was happening there. Am I right?
I would follow, correct?
You what?
I would follow, correct?
Yes.
I'm saying he's correct, I would follow.
Yeah, of course.
The happenings of the commission.
Yeah, that's right. So that's why you're even able to even then, observe and watch the testimony of the National Commission. Am I right?
Correct?
And where she was implicating you in the drafting of both documents. Am I right?
Correct.
And did you at that stage approach anybody in order to assist the Commission of Inquiry, which was battling with wanting to know who made the changes, and say that I'm now here, I can say who made the changes? Did you do that?
Judge, an expectation was raised, which is why a statement was solicited from me. Which is why the statement was solicited from me, that I am going to appear in front of the commission that was set up,
The Farlam Commission.
the Farlam Commission,
Yeah.
and that did not happen.
Did you take steps to make sure that you bring to the attention of the commission? Now you have heard the National Commission that she's implicating you. Did you take steps now to say that I need to put the record straight so that the commission is not laboring under false impression that I actually did this when I did not? Did you do that?
That was not for me to do because I was waiting for my day to be called.
Now, at that time, you were well aware that you have deposed to this statement at page 129 up to page 130. Am I right? At that time when you watched her then giving that testimony, you are aware that you had given this statement under oath.
Correct.
Am I right? And you are aware that in this statement, you did not disclose that you made the changes and also that the National Commissioner made further changes. Am I right?
In this statement, I did not disclose that. There are lots of things that are not disclosed.
Was that not important for you to disclose that?
At the stage and having information that I'm going to be subpoenaed, there was
Yes, sorry, continue.
Yeah.
at that,
No,
at that stage.
Mr. Kari, let him finish.
At that stage, Judge, I was informed, I must repeat myself, that I'm going to appear.
At
Therefore,
the Farlam Commission.
correct.
And while you were waiting for that, was a statement for you drafted to testify before the Farlam Commission?
Judge, I believe a statement is mine, and I did not need anyone to draft it for me at the time. I put together my statement, which I was prepared to stand by at the Farlam Commission.
Yes, but now, look, we're talking about two statements.
Correct.
The first statement at page 130, or 129. 129, is this the statement that you made for purposes of testifying before the Farlam Commission?
Correct, Judge.
Okay, now the question is, why did you not make mention in this statement if you knew that the National Commissioner was implicating you? Because by the time you made this statement, she had already testified. Is it correct?
It was during that time. I thought, Judge, I was going to be called.
Yes, but when you made the statement on the 8th of August, 2013, did you on that date already know that the National Commissioner had implicated you
No, I
in
did not.
making them? And that's the important thing I want to know. Did she therefore testify after the 8th of August 2013?
I have no clear recollection of that, Judge.
Yeah. Okay. So when you made this first statement, you still did not know that she was going to implicate you in writing this media statement and making changes. Is that correct?
In writing the media statement. Is that?
Yes. When you did not know when you made this first statement on the 8th of August 2013 what her testimony was going to be of implicating you.
I did not know, Judge.
Yeah, that's what I want to find.
Okay, thank you, Judge. So let's take it step by step, Mr. Damasio. When you deposed to this affidavit at page 129 and 130, you wanted to tell the Commission that time the truth and the whole truth, am I right?
Correct.
And what you decided out of your own was not to disclose to the Commission that you actually made the changes to the media statement and that the National Commissioner made further changes to the media statement. That you did not disclose.
Because I was not called.
I'm saying disclosing in this statement. Because when you drafted this statement, the 16th of August 2012 had long passed. It was 1 year after the 16th of August. You knew by that time when you were drafting the statement that you have made changes to the statement, not so?
I knew, and I was going to disclose that during the Farm Commission, of course.
But you did not disclose it before the Farm Commission, despite that you say you watched the National Commissioner implicating you. Why didn't you take steps and say that I want to put the record straight because I don't want the Commission to come to a wrong conclusion when in fact I have the facts?
I will repeat myself again, Judge. I was informed that I'm going to appear, and it is at that sitting that I would have disclosed that.
But
Now,
when you were told that you might be called to set the matter straight at the Farm Commission, you didn't make any further statement then, did you? When
I
you
did
were
not.
when you were told you might be called at the Farm Commission to put the record straight and give further information that you did not disclose in your first affidavit. Is that correct?
I was not informed that to put the record straight. I was told just for appearance. And it is at the Commission that I would have disclosed.
But what I don't understand, Mr. Mashiku, is you made this statement on the 8th of August 2013. That's number 129 and 30. All right? You made that statement.
Correct.
All right. You followed the commission before Judge Farlam. Is that correct?
I did.
You heard, after making this statement, that the National Commission implicated you incorrectly. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Were you then told you might be called to testify before the Farm Commission about the incorrectness of her implication?
That was not said.
Okay.
That was not indicated to me, Judge.
When were you first then told that you need to put the record straight with regard to the wrong implication by the National Commissioner against you?
A few months ago, I got an indication.
Yes. And that was for purposes of this Board of Inquiry.
Correct, Judge.
All right. Just a minute, let me just make a note.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Mashiko, we'll take it one step at a time. So, you have this personal knowledge that first, you are the author of Triple F5. Am I right? That is the press statement. I'm sorry to use those Triple F5. The document at page 137, the media statement. That one we know, because you worked on it from the template. Am I right? According to evidence.
From the template, correct.
So you are the author of it. You are the compiler of it.
Yes.
That's right. And then, well, you are saying that you did that with Captain Adrio. That's what you're saying. Am I right?
Correct.
And then, when you finish, you take it to the National Commissioner. No, then when you finish it, now you have compiled it. Now then you take it to the National Commissioner. That is now your evidence that we now know in your latest statement. Then there's several of you in the room, and then she make further changes. I'm understanding you correctly.
Yes, as I was typing, she was present. In
Yes.
fact, I recall vividly, they were standing
Yes.
as I was typing.
Okay, that's fine. But all what I'm saying is that, so you and Adrio, your paragraph 5.3.4, it's very clear that 5.3.3, then you and
Of
Adrio
Exhibit E.
of Exhibit E effected changes yourselves. Not so?
Correct.
And what she did was to effect further changes. Am I correct? That's what you're saying here. Yes, answer.
As we were doing that, the National Commissioner and the Lieutenant Generals were present, were doing according to their wishes.
Yes, okay. So now let's take it this way. Now we know that, you are the author of Triple F5. Let's go to page 130 of your statement. 130, that will be there. If you look at paragraph 2 there, what you are telling the commission, and when I say the commission, I mean Faram there, not this commission, not this board, is that I took part in the writing of a statement delivered by the National Commissioner to the media on the 17th August 2012. Do you see that? Do you see that?
Yes.
So what you are saying here is that I'm not the author, but I simply took part in it. So with other people playing the role, I only took part in it.
Correct.
But now, today we know that you actually then you're the author.
Sorry, Judge. My learned friend on 2 occasions put to the witness, and the witness didn't respond directly, that he was the author. I let go because I thought he was using shorthand. But the witness's evidence is very clear from the outset, and no contradictory facts, as opposed to conclusions and language, has been put to him. The witnesses testified from the outset that he and Adriel together made changes, and then the National Commission dictated further changes. Those are the facts. And whether you, under those circumstances, want to call him the author or say that he took part is a question of semantics. So I object to the question.
Mr. Makari?
Well, I hear what my own friend is saying, but what we know from his own statement is that he actually then is the one who compiled Triple F5 from a template. So I was asking him in that context. So I'm asking in the context of his evidence. I'm not asking it in the context that he was
Don't
taking
use the
from
word
Triple
author, because he's not the author.
Well, then maybe then let me not use then the word author. Let me say compiler, because that's the word that he was using.
Part compiler.
Yes. Co-compiler. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's better to use that terminology. Yes. So now here, was it not important for you to then disclose to the commission? And again, when I say commission, I'm referring to the Farnham Commission because this one is the Board of Inquiry. That actually then I compiled this, or I co-compiled this document then with Captain Idra. It is not a significant thing for you to say. Then what is it?
May you kindly repeat yourself?
Was it not a significant fact to disclose in your affidavit on page 30 to say that I co-compiled the media statement with Captain Idra?
At that time, I did not see the need because I was anticipating to be called. I would have mentioned that during the sitting of the commission.
So this was not a significant fact then to be put in affidavit, in your view, at that time?
Not that it was insignificant, that's relative. I'm merely saying I was anticipating to be subpoenaed and I would have indicated that.
So that was not disclosed then, to the commission in respect of this affidavit of yours. I accept that. But then now, you make another important allegation, because you say that I was given a memory stick and I was working on a template where I and Adro made changes. Was that not a material fact to have disclosed in your affidavit before the commission?
My position on that is that I was going to be called, and it's something that I would have disclosed there.
So you're waiting to disclose only when you're called?
Correct. And there was, in fact, a talk of court proceedings. I guess I would have been also summoned or subpoenaed there. I would have disclosed that then.
And the third aspect that now is also not disclosed, which we now know you are saying in your affidavit of the 3rd of May, is that not only did you make changes to the document, you and Adrio, but the National Commissioner made further changes. And that is also not disclosed in the statement to the Commission. Wasn't that a material aspect to be disclosed?
It would have been disclosed during the sitting of Farnham.
Why was it not disclosed in the affidavit, which was going to form the basis of your testimony if you were called?
I was hopeful to be called, Judge. That's all I can say. I have responded to that question several times. Everything else is not captured. Not everything is captured on the statement.
Yes, that's fine. So, 2.5 or 3 years later, we now know this new revelation that you made changes and the National Commissioner made further changes. The two important aspects which occupied the Farnham Commission of Inquiry, because Farnham always wanted to know who made the changes, and that was not disclosed to him by you in the affidavit that you did to the affidavit, you put in respect of that Commission of Inquiry. Wasn't that a material concealment of the facts to Farnham?
Judge, with respect, that's an argument. The witness has now repeated probably 6 times his answer, which is that he expected to be called before the inquiry. I don't think it can be taken further, Judge, and it's now becoming...
Mr. Mukari, I understand what you're trying to establish, but he has said quite categorically that when he made this statement, he had not yet known that he was going to be falsely implicated
yes.
by the National Commission.
No, I understand.
All those points that you raise,
Yeah.
which is in Exhibit E, would become relevant once he knew that he was being falsely implicated by the National Commission. So asking why he didn't put it in the statement won't
No,
take
it's
it
true.
any further.
No, I understand, Judge, but I'm putting it in a different context. I'm putting it in the context of the duty of a deponent to disclose material facts in affidavit. I'm not putting it on the context of him being implicated. He didn't have to be implicated first before he put the true facts then to the commission. I'm putting it only in that direction, not on the other direction.
You can argue that.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
But that I can argue. Yeah. So let me just put
The
a
value
final.
of that argument, we will debate that.
Yes. No, I understand that, Judge, so then I'll come back to it. So now, let's see how you get implicated then by the National Commissioner, according to you. So now, you say that the National Commissioner then implicated you in the drafting of the internal memo, and as well as the media statement. Am I right?
Of the briefing statement, clearly, I was implicated because I was not part of compiling it.
What we're talking about the testimony. The testimony was that it was both. You played a role in both of them. So in which one? So you're not implicated in respect of 555. So there you have no problem.
Because I was typing the document, I took part, was
So you're the
according
compiler.
to the statement.
You're the compiler of 555, so that's why you don't take issue with that. Am I right?
And F5 comes from F4.
Yes, but I'm saying
which
that
was compiled already.
Yes, I
Mine was, I indicate as well, with due respect, in one of my statements, that I did cut and paste.
I understand that. Let's then go back to your Exhibit E. Go back to Exhibit E, paragraph 5.1. You say, I had no part in preparing Exhibit 4. You see that?
Correct.
So then I'm saying that, so you take no issue when then she says that you actually then took part in preparing the 555. That you don't have a problem with. That's all I'm wanting to find out. Or whether you have a problem with both.
I've made it clear. I would have disputed that on the statement. F5, I was part of that.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So we're on the same page, then on there. So, but then, did you know that Captain or Colonel Scott was here? It was a Colonel, yes. Colonel Scott also deposed an affidavit in respect of the Farm Commission. You may not have known, but I'm just asking because you're in the same SAPS. Did you know that he did that?
I don't
You
know.
didn't know, but you knew that he ultimately testified, not so?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, then I know that you say that you did not know that Colonel Scott deposed an affidavit. There is we have a consolidated statement under oath by Colonel Scott. It is in a bundle. I don't know if those bundles were handed up, which I wanted to show just one paragraph to the witness.
Yes, where is it?
Yeah, it is in your bundle then, actually. But all what I want to say to you, and you will get that, is that Colonel Scott, you'll tell me whether he's right or not. He says that he also took part in the compilation of the information which is contained in F4, that is the internal memo. And then he was actually then doing most of the typing. And after that, he emailed it to the communication center of the police at 2:00 in the morning of the 17th of August. Have you received such an email?
2:00 in the morning, 17th August.
That's right, yeah.
Judge, I was probably sleeping at that time.
Yes, okay, all right. Yes, I see. But obviously then, I mean, that catastrophe then will not allow any police officer to sleep. You're not asleep than 2 o'clock in the morning.
Judge, 15 minutes before midnight, as you indicated, I was still awake. I was up and down the whole day, supporting my colleague, Captain Ajwao. I knew that I had to be at Marikana the next day. Come 2 o'clock, I was not awake. I had to have a rest in order to make it on the 17th to Marikana.
Mr. Mashiko, I put it to you that you concealed to the Falam Commission the relevant information which, had you placed it before Falam, Falam would have found possibly differently, especially that you had the information about the changes that you made, the changes that you say that the National Commissioner then made, and that you are a co-compiler. That, I say, it was a material concealment to the Commission. What is your response to that?
Judge, perhaps we should look at what changes did I make in conjunction with Captain Dennis Adrao and in the presence of the senior officers concerned, that is the National Commissioner, the Provincial Commissioners.
Yes.
As far as I can recall, Scott was present, Colonel Scott.
Yes.
The changes that I and Dennis made was to copy and paste the document on a template that had the SABS logo. You can call it a letterhead. I had to indicate the date. In any briefing, there should be an introduction. There were ongoing discussions during that time. As I say, those senior officials were standing next to us,
No, I mean,
myself, and can I finish, Judge, please?
okay.
Yes, carry on.
Finish.
Finish.
I introduced the statement referring to how saddening the incidents as they unfolded. It was an unfortunate and a sad happening. That's the change, or those are the changes that I made. There was further contribution from my seniors that we should indicate the mandate of the police, speaking to the vision and mission. Those are also effected. Those are the specific changes. I don't think they can be factual in the sense that they influence change of whatever content that is captured on the briefing document.
No, I understand that. I understand. I mean, I'm not taking...
Yeah, just before you carry on, do I then understand you correctly that the changes you and Adrio made are the inclusion of the first portion on page 137,
Correct, Judge?
starting with Rustenburg and then stating the mandate, and then take you through the events that unfolded, etc. Those you included, you and Adrio. Is that correct?
In the main, I'll repeat, Judge, the first paragraph that you referred to, how sad the police service is, and the portion of the mandate. After that, the rest of the document was sort of through and through what is extracted,
Yes.
what is copied from the briefing document.
Yes, I see on page 137, if you just turn there too, let's number them paragraphs 1, 2, and 3 on page 137. One and 2 does not appear in the briefing document that you received on your on the stick, memory stick. Paragraph 3 begins with an introductory section, but that then complies with the strike history of events, which is in the document at page 140. Is that correct?
Correct.
From Friday 10th of August all the way through to Monday 13th of August. That
Correct, Judge.
You took from that document, is
Correct.
that right? Then, from that document under SAPS actions, you then included some of that under your heading, our actions have been following, on page 138. Is that right?
That's right, Judge.
And those are the sort of changes that you and Arju made. Changing of headings, putting in that first paragraph. Is that correct?
Correct, Judge.
The further changes made by the National Commission only relate to the changing of paragraphs 4 and 5 on page 141 to read differently on page 138, paragraph 7 and 8. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct, Judge.
All right, I understand now. Thank you.
Just as a follow-up to what the judge was taking you through, if you look at the figures in page 141, if you go to page 141, paragraphs 4 and 5, you saw those figures of those dead and those who are dead in paragraph 4 and injured, and those who are dead in paragraph 5 and injured. You saw those figures we've spoken about, am I right?
Correct.
So would you have retained them in 138 in those paragraphs 7 and 8 without misleading the public?
Judge, which public are we talking about?
Well, let's say the media, without misleading